Their thing is, if you're a content creator or videos, that's it. That's all you can be. Now, at this day and age, attention is a new currency. Like older people who are like veterans in the industry now, they gatekeep. They do not let any youngster when they start a business. They do not let them shine through. If you look at my content, it's like what happens at that moment.
Don't say අනේ මේ අපි බල්ල මේ හපන්නේ ඔයා පොඩ්ඩක් අල්ලලා බලන්න හපන්න නැත්තේ තෝ.
Sometimes I'm like on the road driving and someone calls me. Then and there අයින් කර වාහනේ take the phone out. හැප්පුවා එක්කෙනෙක් හැප්පුවා වාහනේ හැප්පුවා ඌට බයින්න කලින් insurance call කරන්න කලින් I wait and made a video about it. I don't know if you believe it or not, when I record a video I just post it. I don't watch it. You know why? Because I watch it I'm like bagasana. I didn't like the way I said this. I was a bad son, I was a bad sibling, even bad business partner, definitely a bad boyfriend, all of that, right? And as a result of that I hurt my parents, I hurt everyone around me. And people left my life, and at one point you're just like, it's all just white noise, and you just think to yourself, I need to get out of this as soon as possible. Yeah. This is what happens to a lot of people. You will be surprised, like people who just like have nothing, and then finally they get a lot. They do not know how to do that.
Ultimate vision.
I was the same person a long time ago, and none of y'all said hi, none of y'all wanted to hang out with me, and now all of a sudden entrepreneurs, all these people are now want to be my buddies and everything, right? It's just all fake.
So you understood what truly matters.
Yes, and like people left me as well. That really like changed my life as well. So.
Our first guest on Power Moves is Amantha Perera, commonly known as NotAmanthaPerera. Perera. Amantha, Aiboan. I feel like we should give our guests the proper greeting.
Yes, Aiboan. That was a lovely introduction.
Thanks so much. Thank you, Amantha. I had to practice that also. So, Amantha, Power Moves is all about trying to inspire our viewers.
Yep.
And when it comes to inspiration, everyone has their own source of inspiration. Everyone has that mantra which really clicks with them and helps them in their day-to-day. Before we go into that, let's talk about your personal story.
Okay.
Who is NotAmantha Perera?
I mean, that's a lovely question. I mean, I would like to say I'm a very simple guy, to be very honest. Class clown who just loved a lot of attention in school.
Right.
But I would say I'm just a genuine guy who had a lot of big dreams. There were a lot of things I wanted to do but couldn't do as a result of, let's say, financial restrictions or whatever. But I always had big dreams. I've always dreamt big, and I'm a man with a plan. A little bit of a cocky dude as well.
Great. Yeah. So, because you mentioned that you are a cocky dude, we know that you don't pull your punches. Even online, you are very direct. You're very candid with your views. And it might not sit well with everyone, but at the end of the day, that is who you are. So, to get an entrance to today's conversation, I will give you 20 seconds. You can be as flamboyant and boisterous as possible and introduce yourself. Who you are right now.
Will be on the spot.
Definitely.
Okay, 20 seconds, right? My name is Amantha Perera. I'm a 23-year-old entrepreneur. I would like to say I'm talented as well because I sing, I do stand-up comedy, I do it all. I like to make people laugh, but I also like to make brands grow. I'm an ethical dude, but yeah, just don't mess with me.
Great, amazing. So, jack of all trades.
I would like to say that, yeah.
Do you believe being a jack of all trades is best in today's world or master of one?
A master of one, right? See, at the end of the day, I'm not making money out of everything I do. Some of these are just hobbies and like talents.
Yeah.
But as a result of platforms like Instagram, TikTok and all of that, I can showcase that.
Right.
But doesn't mean I'm necessarily making money out of it.
Right.
I would always recommend master one thing, which is marketing for me. But yeah.
So, Amantha, when did you realize the power of social media and content creation? Because when I was browsing the web and I came across some of your previous interviews, you said that all of this came about as a result of COVID.
Yeah.
You wanted to create some content, get a feel for what the netizens had to say about your content. How did you realize the potential content creation has for you to ultimately come to a point where you are monetizing it now?
Yep. I think I wasn't really looking at local creators much, which is not like any diss or anything. Like I love the local creators. But I've always, ever since I was a kid, just watched these YouTubers. Let's say KSI, Deji,
Right.
Logan Paul, Jake Paul. But during COVID, they started monetizing everything they did. In the sense, everyone was at home and they turned their lives around. KSI was just a high school dropout, right? At the end of the day. And now look at him. He's a musician, he's a boxer, whatever people would like to call him. But he has changed his life around and he's doing good. I was thinking, see, we all breathe the same air, right? If he can do it, I'm sure I can as well.
So I want to dig deeper into that as well, and how your transition has been from a content creator to a social media influencer to now being a corporate being, an entrepreneur. How has that journey shaped you so far?
See, it was a tough journey, not gonna lie. And there's this common misconception amongst Sri Lankans, right? Their thing is, if you're a content creator or videos, that's it. That's all you can be. And whenever you try to venture out to something else, that is like, no, the videos like that.
Yeah.
That has always been the case, right?
Right.
My thing was I loved attention as a kid, right? I told you I was a class clown. I just loved attention. And now at this day and age, attention is a new currency. I wanted to make people laugh during COVID. I created some fun content and I got a lot of attention. Now there were two ways to do this, right? Either I can just go along the route of let me just make people laugh, but no, my end goal is actually to make money out of it. Right? Attention is the new currency, so I started my own business and I fell in love with marketing. And you know, it's a bit difficult, not gonna lie, like as an influencer and then transitioning to an entrepreneur, people will not take you serious initially.
Yeah.
But once you show results, it's always cringy until it's done, right? And there's this other thing I would like to mention. There are a lot of gatekeepers in Sri Lanka. Like older people who are like veterans in the industry now. They gatekeep. They do not let any, youngster, when they start a business, they do not let them
Shine through.
They don't. Because they forget that they were once in our position as well. They were once, starting a business. They forget that and now they're just like, who is this new kid just trying to start a business? This has been a common problem. Like there's so many other entrepreneurs I can like literally name right now who have been, said no to. Yeah. But yes, this really helped me, not gonna lie, being an influencer and then starting a business. Most people start businesses and then think about a personal brand. I already built my personal brand. I already built that trust amongst people. So now whatever I start, people will they're curious. They want to see, okay, is he actually good? So at least for like 1 month, bro, they will use my services just to see if I'm good or bad.
Trial period.
Exactly.
So because you spoke about the personal brand aspect of things, nowadays, because social media is so widespread, social media influencers also dime a dozen. And it's very hard to filter out the ones that truly bring you reliable and quality content. In your opinion, what makes a personal brand stand out in today's day and age?
Just being unique, just being real. Someone who's like, there's no smoke and mirrors. Someone who's just being themselves online rather than trying to copy someone, trying to be someone they're not. Which is why I think my, online persona or whatever kind of blew up is because I was real. Regardless of what people had to say, some people hated me, some people loved me. I was real. Which got me into a lot of trouble. I've gotten death threats to everything, bro.
Yeah.
You name it, it has happened.
It's happened to you, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, moment of silence for Amantha.
Exactly.
It's okay.
So what I mean is like, if you're real online, that will resonate with people, right? I think that's all you have to be, just real.
How many times have you been banned on social media?
4.
Right.
I've been banned 4
But you
times.
still haven't deviated from your persona.
I used that as a I don't know, like a success story.
As a springboard.
What I did was I put a challenge to myself. I want to grow my social media again from scratch in 1 month. See how many followers I can get. The previous account I had, I grew it from 15,000 in 1 month. So I use that as a form of, okay, I can test out new content. Okay, now I got banned once. Now it's time for me to build another persona online. So now I'm not Musalab or something, right? It's a different type of content. I'm a different person online. Amar says that also got banned. Now I want to switch into like, okay, I want to tap into music. I want to tap into like a little bit of comedy with a hint of marketing. So that's a new persona. So this was all trial and error for me. So I experimented everything using my own personal profile because I've been banned. So now other people will use this as a, being demotivated. They'll just be like,
once or twice, that's it.
Exactly.
Give it up.
But I use this as like, okay, I'm going to experiment as much as I can. And if this works, I can definitely use this with other clients as well.
I see. So your personal brand has certainly evolved online.
Yes.
From where you were on TikTok to what you are on Instagram
Yeah.
and even LinkedIn now, because it's very important for you in the business realm.
Yeah.
Are you proud of how it has evolved? And for someone who just glances through your social media, someone who has never followed you, doesn't see your day-to-day, if someone was to, at a glance, go through what you post online and who you are, would you say that they would be inspired by what you have built?
I mean, I certainly hope so. And I feel like people who have followed me from the start, they will see the character development I've had. Because I was this reckless kid who's just got a phone and discovered TikTok would just Kunwarapa Central, bro. Right? I was just talking about nasty stuff.
Yeah.
And then I got into this part of roasting people, right? And then down the line with so many followers and engagement, huge shout out to my friend Avinash, the owner of Driveline. He told me, bro, there are people who are like kind of looking up to you because there were kids just coming taking pictures.
Yeah.
Which means I have a goal now. I can't lead them the wrong way.
Yeah.
Basically.
You built a reputation for yourself.
Exactly. So, which is why I had to actually think about, cool, I will still make people laugh, but not in the wrong manner, right? Just be an ethical person online. So, that was that.
So when it comes to social media, back in the day, and when we were kids, I believe, before social media was so widespread, and social media influencers were the superstars that they are today, we had different superstars from different industries.
Right.
Sportsmen and women, entrepreneurs, business owners, so on, actors, actresses. But today, the power of social media is such that there is a huge following for influencers and they are being mimicked by their followers. Their lifestyles are trying to be adopted. They are motivated by the people that they follow. And with that comes the inherent responsibility, I would say, of being ethical, being responsible,
100%.
to place a proper example to your followers. How do you believe that a particular social media influencer, could be anyone, even you, should behave online to make sure that whoever is following you and gaining inspiration from you is led in a proper path?
100%. I feel like one thing I really need to like emphasize on is most influencers fake it till they make it. Right? That has always been the case. You go to Dubai, a lot of people are just faking it till they make it. Right? It's the power of manifestation. I mean, you can't blame them, right? They want to showcase their lifestyle in this manner.
Yeah.
Cool, do it. But this doesn't mean like your followers also. It's just a spiral where I want to be like this, I want to live like this.
They're portraying this very unrealistic universe.
See, now let's take me for example. People looked at me and they're just like, wait, this fellow made content like funny videos and now he has started a company and now he has foreign clients. See, right, what I'm trying to explain is there's a story. If you go to my LinkedIn, you will understand. I'm someone who has worked corporate from the age of 17.
Right.
People don't know this. People are just like, Ammamu me vihilu videos
TikTok
TikTok. Now I've been working since I was so I've even worked at Capital Maharaj, right? That was my last company. Multiple sectors, from London Stock Exchange Group to agencies to newspapers. I've done it all. That all the necessary stuff I have learned to be a marketeer, right? Even if it comes to CIM, I have done stage 1, stage 2. I stopped halfway, bro. But what I'm trying to say is, right? People think, okay, he just makes videos. Now he can. Let me also do this.
Easier said than done.
Exactly. And now even this influencer has responsibility. Don't just now. If there are followers, that means people actually see your content all the time. Don't say and promise certain things. Now, then godak minisu kind of course. Let me sell an online course. And these poor kids, they're just like, how to get rich in 30 days. Let me buy this course and pay. That is the influencer's source of income. That is how he's rich.
But there's absolutely no substance there.
Exactly. So there's a lot of responsibility for like actual influencers in Sri Lanka. Not content creators. Content creators are very rarely influencers.
So influencer culture in Sri Lanka, do you believe it's going down the right path? You can be very honest. Or is there room for improvement?
See, I categorize influencers as like people of actual influence.
I see.
Let's say.
Okay, let's not name names.
No. But let me, for very example, Kumar Sangakkar.
Right,
just
okay.
roughly,
yes,
right?
Yes. I think we can all agree on that.
Exactly. Now he's an individual where like we would all listen to. I'm not someone who likes to, just people who fake it online saying, yeah, buy this, buy that. And I'm not, I don't believe in that. But however, I feel like it's going down the right path. I don't know. I feel like I'm in no position to talk about this thing.
No, it's okay.
I'll be like more controversial as well.
Yeah.
Mainly, why? Because I work with influencers. So
Yeah, exactly. You can't afford to step on any toes. Yeah, I understand. So you're constantly online.
Yeah.
You're creating. You're churning out content on the daily. Do you ever feel fatigued, or you feel
Not
like
at all.
you don't?
No,
you don't.
My life,
you thrive on it,
My life is the most eventful life a person can have.
and you're happy to share it.
I am very happy to share it out. If you look at my content, it's like what happens at that moment. I work every day from like office when I come home it's like 4:35.
Right.
If you look at my videos properly, I shower everything at night. When I'm on bed, something that happened during that day is what I talk about. Sometimes I'm like on the road driving and someone scolds me. Then and there I take the phone out. Insurance call I wait and made a video about it.
Yeah.
So it's like I'll never run out of stories because my life is just eventful. And that is also what makes me like raw and authentic and unique.
I see. So in that quest, when you are so active online, have you ever thought maybe your content isn't good enough? The whole imposter syndrome that has crept in to so many people online, that whatever post you put out, whatever story you put out, I just posted a picture of myself. What if people think that I don't look good? Or what if the content that I'm putting out is of subpar quality? Have you ever come across that, or is your ego too big?
It's not even about ego.
Yeah.
It's because I never thought of my social media as like, oh, it has to be perfect.
I see.
I've never thought of it as even, okay, this is what I'm earning money from. Let me like.
So it's your canvas. Just sketch whatever.
It's like the most random stuff. If you look at and one other thing, I'm a perfectionist.
Okay.
Right. I don't know if you believe it or not. When I record a video, I just post it. I don't watch it back.
You don't rewatch it.
I just post it.
That's crazy.
You know why? Because I watch it, I'm like, I didn't like the way I said this. I don't.
If that happened, we wouldn't probably have as many videos.
More than like, I think half of my content is gone then. So it's not about ego. I just never took it serious.
That's the trick, you believe?
I mean, it works. If it works, it works, right?
Yeah.
It worked for me because I just never took my social media as such a serious thing.
Yeah.
I take my LinkedIn as a very serious thing because that is how I earn money.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That is B2B marketing. I don't sell to consumers.
Exactly.
I sell to businesses. I have my service. I'm a service provider.
You have to put out a very formal persona.
Exactly. Now, I share testimonials on that. That is very important for me. One negative review in that will ruin my whole day.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like LinkedIn is very important for me. And like newspaper articles, that stuff is important. This is for the people. I am not like a big dude and everyone else is just following me. No, I'm like everyone's friend. You come say hi to me, I'm like, chill. I want to be everyone's friend. But on certain platforms, I have to showcase that persona. So it's not ego, it's just like...
Right, okay. So let's talk about the digital realm in Sri Lanka. Compared to other countries in the region, Sri Lanka's digital realm or digital transformation has been somewhat slow. Although there has been a greater push to get more people online, to make services digitized, even payments. And with that comes online businesses. And you have been consulting and creating content for online businesses for quite some time now. How do you build a brand for each business that is unique to that particular business? Because I personally believe, because I also come from a somewhat marketing background, each brand should have its own unique voice.
100%.
And it should be humanized as well online. Right?
You said it right there.
Exactly. So how do you find that perfect niche for a particular brand when you're asked to consult?
There are 3 questions, right? Why, what, how. Right? Why and what the owner has to tell me. He has to tell me why he started his business and what he wants to get out of it. Right? Before before even consulting, I have to speak to him and ask him, why did you start this? Is it just for the money? What do you want to get out of it? What's the problem you're solving through this business? Those are some very important information. And I actually mentioned this in the Columbia University panel discussion as well. The importance of personifying your brand. This is what most people don't do in Sri Lanka. If it's a corporate brand, it's a corporate brand. People listen to people. I will listen to you, you will listen to me. Right? On social media, that is what we need to portray ourselves. Even a business. If my business was a person, who would he or she be? Like I'll ask, you're starting a business. I'll tell you, okay, if your business was a person, would it be a girl or a guy? Right? You answer that question. What personality will this person have? Is it like, tell me the age. And that's the tone we need to use in terms of creating content for the people. And just like that, your target audience needs to be divided into about 5-6 personas. If you're selling your phone, what are your types of customers? Tell me one customer, okay, her name is Lisa, she's a school student, her income is this, blah, 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 blah. You break that down to personas.
Yeah.
And then you come up with strategies to target each persona. Digital marketing in Sri Lanka has been so overcomplicated by digital marketing agencies itself. Organic was the first organic content marketing agency. Not because like other agencies didn't do organic content. Yeah. They did, but they prioritized the importance of meta ads, performance marketing. It is necessary, but it's not vital. It's not like you don't really need it.
Yeah, I really appreciate what you're doing here because you're just giving me all of the questions that I proposed to ask from you. Yeah. So let's talk about organic. Yeah. Okay, when it was initially announced, people thought you were starting up an Elvalu Kade. Right?
Yeah.
That's what everyone thought it was. But then when you did come up with the brand introduction, there definitely would have been a lot of skeptics around that.
Yeah.
Because people are so used to, in the digital realm at least, people are so used to SEO, digital media marketing, investing heavily in meta ads, Google ads, so much. But organic is taking a completely different route.
Yes.
You all are trying to break that trend
and
to blaze your own trail, so to speak, right? So where did that inspiration come from? And how are you so confident that organic marketing alone can help a brand reach the masses?
Right. The first things first, I would like to say the campaign at the start. I do not like to be the fat personal trainer.
Right. Okay.
If we are going to, give advice about marketing and doing good campaigns, we have to do a solar campaign. Which is why we had a phase of the teaser phase. People were like, Amantha starting vegetable company. Right?
Yeah.
And then we came out with the bang. This is what
and you kept it under wraps very well.
100%.
Yeah.
And it was organic. Organic marketing. I will never say that, organic marketing is going to, it's going to be a miracle and all your marketing strategies are going to work. No, 100% not. In terms of content, what I can guarantee you is we've come up with a strategy, and in terms of even videography, in a way where if 5,000, 10,000 people watch your content, each of those 5,000, 10,000 people will know your USPs. At the end of the day, or if you're prioritizing organic content, you need to understand that it's a test match. Right? It's not just about, this is how many views. What's the point of making a video go viral?
Yeah.
It's good for your ego.
Yeah.
I love it. You get a video viral, it's great. But what are the leads generated? Let's take, for example, a video recently went viral, but it hit the Indian algorithm. They won't come to Sri Lanka and buy a chocolate? No. You get what I mean? So there has to be some sort of... Now that for the owner is a big ego boost.
Yeah.
My video hit 4 million.
So many people are watching.
Exactly. But what's the point? You need to have successful conversions. What I can guarantee through organic content is basically 5,000, 10,000 people will know your USPs. Will know where you're located. Will know what times you're open. Will know what you're selling. Whenever you have a promotion, they will know that. That I can guarantee.
Okay.
And as a result of that, there will be a lot of referrals. This is
what you want.
It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. In the meantime, if you want to sell out an event, now that is not a marathon.
Yeah.
We have a date when now we're handling a brand called Sarigama. And for that event, obviously, we handle organic content. But the performance marketing also, we do it. But the budget is very little because the content is good.
Okay.
If you've seen the Saigama campaigns we've done,
yeah.
it's something like other events don't do. We do videos with the artists who are performing. We do fun content. And that really resonates.
That's what sets you apart.
Exactly.
So when it comes to organic
Yeah.
and social media,
Yeah.
what is the most important metric?
For
Likes,
us,
shares, comments?
For us,
views?
it's two things: engagement and leads. That's it. I really care about engagement. Engagement is very important because it means someone took the time to either save your video or share your video to someone else, which means it's a referral. People forget this thing, and they're just like, only 5,000 people saw it. 5,000 people is a lot.
That's the thing.
If 5,000 people came to watch you sing, you know how much 5,000 people
That
is?
number, I believe, has gotten lost in translation.
Exactly.
Because how many followers do you have on Instagram?
On Insta, about 85,000.
85,000.
Yeah.
Would
TikTok
you
is
know
about
85,000
100,000.
people if you weren't on social media?
Exactly. People look at that and it's like, this is not enough.
You can't fit in 85,000 people into the studio. You can't even keep up with the lives of 85,000.
There you go. Exactly. It's just people are just in this weird
Headspace.
Yeah, bro. It's I don't even know how to explain it anymore.
That's the thing. So, no, I want to know about how organic operates.
Yeah.
So let's talk about traditional marketing.
Yes.
And how Philip Kotler
Yes.
has led that charge for modern marketing. You know, the modern marketing models,
Yep.
the 4 Ps, and product life cycle, all of that.
Yes.
Does organic utilize all those models as well?
I mean, those fundamentals are needed whenever you.
exactly.
That is what marketing is. no?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, before even starting the business, we always recommend do a bloody SWOT. You know, certain stuff like
Yeah,
that. So those
exactly.
fundamentals are needed. But in terms of coming up with a good strategy, we don't really utilize that because things have changed, right? We know the necessary questions we need to ask a client. We know the necessary information we need from the client to come up and develop with a strategy.
Yes.
And we have this thing, we're pretty confident with whatever we do. And even if we don't, there's always a refund policy, which is what we, that is why the clients keep coming back as well. Because at the end of the day, a business wants sales.
Yeah.
We always believe in our strategy comes in phases, right? The first phase is always awareness. We bring in a lot of awareness for your brand.
Right.
And you can always utilize my platform as well, right? And then afterwards comes the leads generated.
Right.
But we stop there. You know why? Because after the leads are generated, people come and visit your website, people come and call you. After that, it's up to you. We will bring you the leads, you convert.
Okay.
That blame doesn't come to us.
Yeah.
That is like a common thing. That's a common thing clients do.
Yes.
But conversions are, so
Nah.
that's your problem.
Yeah.
Your staff couldn't call. You know how we'll do all the hard work. Huh? We'll create the content, we'll generate a nice lead, and this person will even call. And then hotline nag answer karne ekkana
Dropped the ball.
That's not our problem. That's not our concern. That's why I said
But you make that very clear.
very clear.
in the meetings.
That's why my metrics are very important. Engagement and leads generated. That's it.
Right. So when organic started,
Yes.
you and your business partner,
Yep.
from going from social media to boardrooms and presenting
Yep.
to boards of directors who might or might not have
Yep.
a good understanding of the power of the digital space, of the internet, so to speak. How hard was that convincing act?
Initially, it was a bit hard.
Is there resistance amongst Sri Lankan brands? I wouldn't say the micro and small brands because
Yes, startups, yeah,
that's
they
the
know.
thing. They build an online presence, but when it comes to the established brands who are now venturing into digital,
Yes.
how has the resistance been?
There has always been resistance at the start, but everyone loves a good success story. Every client loves a good success story, which is what we have done. With our clients, we have, collected data, which we can very easily show. This is what we did. These are the results. You want a testimonial? Here's a testimonial. That is what we believe in. Other businesses like to hear the experience of other businesses that have worked with us.
Yes.
That is our strategy. Whenever we go for client meetings, we show this is who we are,
Yeah.
this is what we have done, and these are the results that were produced. If this is what you want, we'll see you at work.
Great. So that's an amazing way to go about things because when you're going to pitch to a certain client, ideally there would be so many pitch decks, so many ideas coming back and forth, so many meetings.
You just have to minus the BS.
clutter.
Yeah, very simply minus the BS. That is why I even started my newspaper column called the No BS Marketer, because that's who I am. I cut all this colorful, PDFs, Venn diagrams, all that.
Yeah.
ඕක කියවන්නෙත් නෑ probably. So
Definitely.
just write everything down. And most of this is like chat GPT. Okay? So come on.
Yeah. True
Just want to get the message out.
True enough. Yeah. So now let's talk about AI and how ChatGPTs, the Geminis, the OpenSeas, how all of that has evolved and also influenced digital in Sri Lanka. Do you use any of those AI agents?
Oh, that has streamlined all our processes. AI has taken at least 2 people's jobs. You know, there were isara copywriters, there are people to even schedule posts and all that. Now we have platforms for it. If you utilize it properly, ChatGPT is like a blessing. Sri Lanka, some people do not even know how to prompt AI. But always remember, AI is as good as what you feed it. It's never going to replace a human. It's never going to replace it.
It takes human cognition to feed the proper information.
Exactly. It's only as good as what you feed it. Now, ChatGPT, for me, I love it because I have prompted it in a very good manner. And just the tip I'll just give, you need to make it a person.
Train that model well.
Exactly. Say, hi, your name is Mark. You are the best marketeer in Sri Lanka. You're 25, so that means you're vibrant, you're open to these things, blah, 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 blah. You tell this person, you tell ChatGPT, this is who you are. Do it. And then just watch the stuff there. It's scary also at some point.
Definitely, because it might even replace us in the future. Who knows? In a world of AI news anchors and AI news presenters as a whole, you never know what's going to happen. We hope for the best. But so, Amantha, I want to deviate from our topic and talk about motivation, inspiration for anyone who's watching and has seen you grow from where you are to where you are now today, from where you were to where you are now today. And your life has taken many turns, right? And you haven't stuck to that 9-to-5 corporate culture. You have broken that barrier. You have gone into social media as an influencer. You have now become an entrepreneur. But not everyone's parents would be as supportive if someone says, okay, Ami, I want to be a social media influencer from tomorrow onwards. Or I'm going to start my business after being a social media influencer. How has the support from your parents been throughout all of this?
I mean, see, it's a risk at the end of the day, because working for a 9-to-5 is stability. Whatever happens, let's say COVID happens again, salaries are paid for at least X amount of months. Now COVID hits, I have to put money and pay people. For
exactly.
Right? So it was tough. But I've always been this guy who's confident in myself, and I had a vision. The thing is, man, this is not something I just did randomly, I knew the necessary steps I needed to take to finally do my own business. That's why I said, about 5 to 6 years of corporate life, and I did not stick to one company. Every company, bro, I learned a different thing.
So that was also part of the plan?
I will actually, I should have brought my book. So there's a journal I have, right?
Okay.
I wrote this as soon as I left A-levels. And I started CIM. This was the plan I had. Every company I worked in, I wanted to learn and master a specific skill. Let's say the first company, for example, I was copywriter. That's how I started, and it was for a newspaper company, which means they didn't have ChatGPT back then.
That I have with the interesting books and
I have to read a boring article, very boring, right? And come up with a nice catchy headline so that people read the full boring article. That's what sparked the creativity. Then I worked at an agency. Agency, I learned everything that needs to be done with SEOs, even to come up with pitch decks. How to think of a campaign. What's a campaign? ATLs, BTLs, everything. And then there was, now I did B2C marketing. Work for a tech company. That's B2B marketing. How to sell yourself, how to sell to a business. So the importance of testimonials, stuff like that, right? To recruit people, talent. That's a very important part. And then I worked here and I was handling the hospitality sector. So all of that combined, people think, he's just creating content. No, bro. I had this
plan.
There
was a plan in the back.
Exactly. So my parents always knew this plan, but they said, it's a bit too soon, all of that. It was difficult at the start, but money talks.
I mean, today's day and age, definitely.
Exactly. Even very, simply to say, my partner at the time, her parents did not even want to give their daughter. I mean, understandable. I was someone, I had a vision, but they don't see it. And I don't go to explain
And
things.
different generations.
Exactly.
Right? Your ideals, your principles, the way that life is supposed to be lived, that
Exactly.
the preconceived
Internet
notion.
එකෙන් සල්ලි හම්බ කරන්නත් පුළුවන්.
Monetize කරන්න කොහොමද?
Exactly.
Doctor කෙනෙක් නෙමෙයි.
And then for අම්මියන් තාත්ති මේ අපේ මේ නෑදෑයෝ ඇහුවම කොහොමද කියන්නේ මේ ඔයා මේ influencer කියන්නේ. So I had to go through all of that. And now I've come to a position where, you know, my parents are
Accepting of what you do because they know that you have a plan and a vision.
exactly.
Right. So the advice you would give is to always have a plan, whatever you
100%
do in life.
You can't just wing it. If you wing it, that means you lose it very quickly. Anything that just randomly happens, no. It won't last for a long time. You're going into it without a plan. Always have your life planned. I know, YOLO, you only live once.
That's the
but
thing. Yeah.
you have to, there's a lot you need to think about.
This life only keeps getting serious.
Exactly.
Okay. So because our segment today, our series is named Power Moves, I want to ask you by transitioning into a segment of the series which is called the Power Move.
Okay.
So I want you to tell me, and our viewers of course, a bold decision could be a risk or an experience or something you didn't do or did do that shaped your career at some point in time.
That's a good question, and I've never been asked a question like that as well. So
It's okay, take your time. We have all the time in the world.
it's an interesting one. You know, it wasn't a decision. It was more of like finally. See, like I grew up with almost like middle class family, and did not have as many friends. And I went to an international school, right? Middle class family, international school. You know these things as well.
Yeah, potential of being sidelined is high.
Exactly. But people still loved me because I was a class clown.
You're the bubbly
everything.
guy.
Exactly. And finally, you know, I've always dreamt of I want to party with these guys, you know. They're like
the macho dude.
Yeah, they're the you
Yeah.
know, there are bottles everywhere to the girls, everything, right? And like over a span of like 5-6 months, those people I wanted to party with just come up to me and say, Amantha, I love your videos, bro. And then I'll take a party down, bro. We'll enjoy. You get into this cycle, right? They're like, okay, finally with them, now I want to like go crazy. So as a result of that, I did a lot of things, you know, from substance abuse to even like, you know, just not being me. I was a bad son, I was a bad sibling, you know, even bad business partner, definitely a bad boyfriend, you know, all of that, right? And as a result of that, I hurt my parents, I hurt everyone around me. And people left my life. And at one point, you're just like, it's all just white noise, you know. They're not living a happy life as well. They're doing it, they're
Just
part.
to escape.
Exactly. And you just think to yourself, you know, I need to get out of this as soon as possible. Like, I did not do all of this to go down this path. And this is what happens to a lot of people. You will be surprised, like people who just like have nothing, and then finally they get a lot. They do not know how
They
to
lose
utilize
that
it.
ultimate vision. They have the
They get distracted.
But
See,
where do you find that determination though?
When success comes, you know, that's when the devil knocks, right? God loves you a lot. Guess who loves you more? The devil, right? And I have a lot of faith in God. As a Catholic, I go to church every day now, and I realized until I got to where I wanted to go, I was praying to God, please, 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 let me get there.
Yeah.
I got there, I didn't even say thank you, not one bit.
Yeah.
Forgot.
Everything just got.
Met you know, the wrong set of people, just was going astray.
Yeah.
I realized what I had done. And
What truly broke you there? Because you mentioned a multitude of events that happened.
Yeah.
But when did you realize, okay, I am straying from my path.
Yeah.
I'm losing sight of the vision that
everyone
I had
is, I realized that everyone is there just because of the cloud.
for the clout.
Yeah, just because I'm Amantha online.
And
was
then
no
you
one.
had the determination to make a change.
Because if I was no one, no. I was the same person a long time ago. And none of y'all said hi. None of y'all wanted to hang out with me. And now all of a sudden, entrepreneurs, all these people are now want to be my
Wanna be your
buddies
friends,
and everything, right? It's just all fake.
So you understood what truly matters.
Yes. And like, you know, people left me as well. That really like changed my life as well. So I was like,
I think that's a very reasonable power move.
Yeah.
Kudos to you. Well done.
thanks, bro.
And before we wrap up, Amantha, I want to go to another segment. This is called Fuel Your Climb.
Okay.
See, I'm someone who believes in the power of inspiration,
Yes.
mainly through quotes or principles or mantras, stuff like that. You know, I've been the guy who go on YouTube and look up for motivational quotes and, you know, listen to that
Love it.
days on end.
Yeah.
So because of that, I wanted to include that in our podcast as well. Do you have a particular quote or a mantra that you live by that has shaped the way you live?
I wouldn't say like I have a quote per se, but I've heard this saying, and this has been like mentioned in the Bible as well. I think it's Corinthians chapter 4, verse 17, 18.
Okay. Nice.
And this was mentioned by Tom Hanks as well. It's a very lovely saying, this too shall pass. And let's say, for example, I'm going through all the negative stuff. I feel like I'm no one. This too shall pass. Whatever bad that happens, this too shall pass. But also when you're successful, when you're at the peak, always be humble, because this too shall pass. That's what keeps me, you know, I'm never ego. I'm in reality. I don't go to, I'm making money now, let me, you know,
splurge.
Yeah, buy a Rolex, let me drive this now, man. Obviously, you have to do that with time, but I'm in reality. That's it. I'll be successful, but
you're very well in touch with reality and how
always you have
fast everything can fall
That's
apart.
how a lot of people mess up. They try to, you know, show people that no, I'm making so much money. No,
You don't live for yourself, you live for others.
Exactly. That's where you mess up. That's where you fall. So yeah.
So closing thoughts. Amantha Perera is proud of who he is today.
Very.
Amantha Perera has a vision for his journey.
And this is still the beginning. There's
the
a
beginning.
lot.
The best is yet to come.
Oh yeah, I'm not even in my prime yet, bro. I'm 23. Prime is like 25, 26. No?
Right, yeah.
This is still the beginning.
I feel like the age keeps coming down.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like the age keeps coming down. Because back in the day, if you're 28, 29, you'll be in your prime. Yeah. And now people, as young as 14, we can see people in the IPL.
Exactly.
Who are just performing. Yeah. Rubbing shoulders with the greats.
Exactly.
All right. Great. Amazing. So that was a very insightful, candid, reflectionary, I would also say, podcast as the first podcast of the series Power Moves that Newsfirst is bringing to all our viewers. We hope you enjoyed our first podcast episode with Amantha Perera, who has created his own path, who has a vision for the future. Everyone thought he was just another TikToker, but today's conversation will certainly change a lot of minds. Amantha, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. We know that you are living a very hectic life these days, but thank you for joining us on the studio.
Thank you so much
for the first episode.
Thank you so much for having me. This was amazing. Thank you. You too.